Hello, welcome back. As you can see, I am in the shed. Now, it's been a busy 2 days, but I haven't filmed a stitch of it. I've been trying to sort out this live stream from the homestead in anticipation that the summer house is going to be built next week. I just caught myself on the video. I look a bit blue. It's not that cold, it's just the picture. So I've been busy doing the live stream. It worked for about 24 hours and then stopped. So I need to try and sort out that problem. So the next few days, apparently the sun's coming out. So I will look forward to that because I need to get my head down. Because next week, my friend from London is coming down and he's bringing a lot of the stuff that I left behind on the, which allotment was it? The last one I had. I can't remember what it was called now. The cottage garden-y one, you know. So he's already packed the car and he's bringing the stuff down. So I know I'm getting a what do you call it? A metal tank. So I can use that to save water off the shed. I know that's coming. I know a stove is coming, which was given to me by Jeff, who I spoke to the other week. If you've been a long time viewer, you will remember Jeff from the very, very early days. And he's just turned 80 and he's still growing in his house garden. But he said he's not as active as he was in the past. Obviously, age is starting to catch up. So that's coming. There's a few bits of tools. Oh, there's quite a bit of fencing that I left behind. That's coming. I don't know what's coming in regard to plants. I did say to him he could keep all the fruit, so I don't know whether he's going to do that or whether he's going to bring it down. I could ask, but I think let's live on the edge and just see what turns up. So when he arrives, the weather looks to be fine. And I'm hoping that it will be, because I'm going to see if he can help me build the summer house. Because I've been told that even though to get the main structure of it done is quite easy, the difficulty comes with putting the roof on. Because it's not like the shed that I'm in now, one big slab of wood. It's a bit of an arty-farty shed, so I need a bit of help with that. So in the next few days, I'm thinking if the weather, well, even if the weather doesn't play ball, I have to just get on and do it, is to work out exactly where the summer house is going. So I have a rough idea, but I'm a bit confused on how to make things look square. I don't want the shed facing in, the summer house facing in that direction, then the shed's facing in the other direction. So I thought what I might do in the next few days is come down and put the drone in the air and try and work out, maybe with some sticks with pots on the top. I could put the drone up and I could sort of mark out 6x8, I think it is. I'm not sure now. I could mark out how big the summer house is. And then I don't know if we're going to do it next week or whether I'm going to do it before he gets here, is to put the base down. And the base that I've got is one of these plastic things where you lock them together and then you throw chip-ins on top. Now, I've done this in the past with sheds and I haven't put the chip-ins in. I've just put the plastic down, and usually on top of a sheet of plastic. So it's a sheet of plastic, then this plastic grid, and then I've just put the shed on top. But I thought this time, let's go the whole hog and do a proper job. So that's the plan. But I'm a bit unsure whether I'm going to do it before he gets here or whether we're going to do it together when he's here, because he's staying for a few days. So hopefully, by the end of next week, there'll be a summer house. I've already got a few things, and a lot of the things that you've sent me over the last few months I've kept, and I'm going, right, that would look good in the summer house. Well, that'd look good in the greenhouse. Now the greenhouse may be here by the end of next week. Unfortunately, it will turn up after he's gone. But I phoned the company today and they said it takes 26 days, which means it won't be next week, it'll be a week or two after. But I thought, I'm not getting stressed about that. Let's deal with the summer house first, and then after that's finished, then I'll give them a call and say, right, what date is the greenhouse going to come? Now, I could have got the greenhouse size. Let me have a quick check now because I can't remember. That picture seems to be going bluer and bluer. I'll be frozen by the time I'm finished, according to this. It's because I'm stood by the window and the camera is a bit confused. So the greenhouse that I've bought is 6x8. I did contemplate going for a 6x12, but unfortunately, although I could change it, where the greenhouse was on this site before, for some reason they dug down, so they've sunk that area by about 6 inches. So I could dig out some more, but I thought if I put the greenhouse in the space that I've got, that's only allowing myself a foot in order to open the door, because unfortunately the door opens outwards rather than inwards. If it faced inwards, I wouldn't have a problem, and I would have gone ahead and bought the biggest greenhouse that I could afford. Although I can't afford this one. This is a few pound a month job, you know. So I've gone for a 6x8, which I know I'm going to fill. Somebody said to me the other day, even if you had a 10x20 greenhouse, it's surprising you fill it. So I thought, let's go for something dinky that's not going to take too much time to keep clean. So 6x8 is the one that's coming, and then outside I'll put a flower bed in front and flower bed at the back. The cold frame here, I haven't decided yet whether I'm going to keep the cold frame. It seems to be, in order to get glass to go on top of the cold frame that's already here, works out cheaper to buy a brand new cold frame. So I'm a bit, again, it's something that's on the list, but something that I'm not giving a lot of thought to because I'm busy doing everything else. One thing I have noticed over the last few days, I can hear the robin outside. One thing that I have noticed over the last few days is since we've turned the clocks back, 5:15, and it's pitch black. So I'm just looking now and it's 4:28. So I won't be down here for much longer. And that reminded me that it's at this time of year you have to slightly change how you do things. And if you want to get down to your allotment, you need to get down there in the morning. And again, when Jeff was on the site, we'd always meet up at about 10 o'clock during the winter. And it was a bit of a spurt to get us down there. And then once we were down there and we had our tea, it was onto the land, tending the crops, and then have a tea at around about 2 o'clock. Because the temperature just suddenly drops at 2. And it's going to get worse. But somebody said the other day, oh, winter's coming, I don't know how I'm going to get through it. I said, well, just look at it this way. December the 21st is the shortest day, and then the nights start to get longer again. Even though we all know it takes quite a long time through January and February for that to happen. It goes very, very slow and then quick. So keep that in your head, that you've only got to get through another, month, 6 weeks, and then the shortest days here, and then it's all uphill till spring. Well, it's Halloween tonight, and I don't like Halloween, I'll tell you that for now. As a pagan, Halloween to me is a bit like what Christmas is to a Christian. So I don't like all this going around knock on the door, trying to scare each other, and all these ghouls and blood all over the walls, you know, because I've seen some houses, yeah. It looks as if there's been a murder. So for me, it's all about having a little peace and quiet and reflecting. It's the point of the year where the veil between us and the other world is at its thinnest, so it's a good time just to sit and reflect about all the people that have passed on and raise a smile to them. So it's sort of, it symbolises for me the sort of the start of the new year. I know some people would say it's New Year's Eve, but for me it's always Halloween, then November the 1st, then we're getting the garden ready, so it's like getting ready for spring, and it always has felt like the start of a new year. Do you know, I think I'll treat myself to another cup of tea. Let's just put the gas on. I have quite a few things I need to bring down to the homestead from the house. I have the floor for the summer house to come down. I have all my daffodils, my tulips, my hyacinths. What else? So I've got all them to come down. I did contemplate the other night about putting all my spring bulbs into pots and growing them in pots and then planting them in the ground at the end of spring next year. But that's a bit too much money, and I'm trying to cut back. I'm trying to save for the future. We've had the budget. I need to go home and sit down and work out how that affects me. So it's all about saving the pennies now. We've had a good summer of spending to get a house established. That's all done now. It's all about saving the pennies, because I wouldn't mind having a little holiday next year. Not in the summer, because when you've got a garden you can't go away. But maybe this time next year, so October, November for next year. Wouldn't mind going somewhere quite warm, because I've missed the sun this year, even though I'm not a lover of sunshine. But it would be nice just to feel a bit of heat on the old bones. Have I got enough tea bags? That is the question. Oh, that's what I've got to bring down as well. As well, my daffodils, my tulips. I need to bring down my shallots and my onions. So, like I'm saying, it's, once the summer house is done, then it's hell for leather then. Taking it slow, but taking it steady, doing a little, doing it often, and getting the bulbs all planted. Well, first of all, it would need to be the shallots. Shallots need to be planted along with the onions, and I wasn't going to do garlic, but I might just get the odd garlic bulb and some elephant garlic and put that in. Daffodil bulbs don't need to be planted until January, but that means, because if you think about it, we've only got 2 months and we're in 2025, so it's going to go really, really quick. I need to work out, I want to get the pond finished by the start of spring, so we can start to fill up with wildlife. So I've decided where the pond's going to go, in fact. This is why in front of the greenhouse is going to be a flower bed, because I need to slightly move things. Although thinking about it now, traditionally in front of a greenhouse is when you would put your roses. That's a very 1970s thing, isn't it? Put your roses in front of your greenhouse. Right. Let me get a tea bag. Are you going to come with me? Oh. My leg seems to have been getting better in the last few days. I think it's just because I'm not moving around that much. And when I lay down, I tend to lay on my left-hand side. So I think that's what's happened. Maybe the blood flow hasn't got to the leg as much. Because when I'm up and about, it's fine. And I noticed today, I told you I've been having a bit of pain in my right knee. Well, just below the right knee. But I've got on my knees today a few times, and it's been fine. So who knows? Maybe that was just a temporary thing as well. I've dropped my cap. 1 second. Let me just put you down there because I'm going to do all this in the one take. Oh, I've dropped my cup and it's tipped. Oh, it's tipped the milk. Oh well, no use crying over spilt milk, is there? But it is all over my coat. 1 sec. Oh, and it's all down the back of my trousers as well. Ooh. Right. As you can see, it's a bit of a tight squeeze in the old shed at the moment. This is why I've decided. Oh, I can feel the milk going up my crack end. Oh, yes, there's another little drop going down. There you go. Go back to looking a bit blue again. Oh. What was I saying? I got a bit distracted then by my old crack end. That's what I was saying. Thanks for that. Is when the summer house is done. Hold on, let's frame it up a bit. When the summer house is done, I am going to put the tea facilities in there. Right, let me just pop you in this little drawer thing that I've got without switching you off. Hold on. There you go. Does that work? Subject lost. There you go. That's better, isn't it? I took my mug home to clean it. Right, let's finish that sentence. So, yes. When the summer house is done, I'm going to make a little kitchen tea room in there. So that this shed will just be for work, for my tools, for my pots and things, because I want to try and not fill the greenhouse. I want to keep the greenhouse nice and clean, along with the summer house. But the shed, once I've done shelves and everything, I want somebody to pick me up on something. That I've put this hook to hold my bamboo canes, and now I can't put the whiteboard on the wall. And that is a reason, because I've decided, and I'm going to wait. I'm not in a rush. I'm going to take the whiteboard out, bring it back in when it's empty, and I'm going to put it onto this wall. Now the problem last time was it didn't fit when it was going vertically, but if I put it horizontally, then I think it will. But I'll measure it first and try it. And if it doesn't fit, then I'll have a think and we'll change things around. Because in this summer house, I think it's quite tall. So I could put these hooks in there and just store them sort of in the roof, because it's a bit like that, the roof is, I think. Or is it just like that? Is it like that? Or just like that? Okay. We'll find a way to sort it. Oh, see, it's getting a bit chilly. I better have some bone broth when I go home. In your comments the other day, a lot of people said the bone broth is to be added to a soup. I know people that just drink it, bone broth by itself. and it tasted quite alright when I tried it. So I think I'll stick to doing that. I need to at some point seriously consider, or not consider it. It needs to be done. But I seriously need to sit down and work out how am I going to lose this weight, because it's gone up a bit. It's gone up to 19 stone and a half now. So it's going in the wrong direction. So I need to get that down, because maybe once that's gone, maybe my knee issue will just go altogether. Oh, but this is what it's all about in the winter. Although technically we're not in winter yet. We're still in autumn. It's just nice to sit and relax, isn't it? Listen to the river. Listen to the birds. When I was testing out the live stream over the last day or two, somebody said it would be nice if I put a bird table out. So there was always something there. My problem with that is, I like the idea, but the problem with that is, I don't want to attract any rats from the river. Because there's bound to be some. In fact, I think I saw one. Everybody on the live stream was going, "Oh, look at that cute mouse." And I looked at it and I thought, I think that could be a rat. So they are here. And do I really want to start to try and, well, not to entice them in, but they'll come looking for the birdseed, won't they? And then if they're here and they go one day, oh, there's no birdseed, but there's a nice looking pumpkin there, I'll have a little nibble on that. So I'm in two minds. At the moment I'm thinking I'm not going to encourage the birds, but we'll see. But I thought on the live stream, in order to add a bit of interest, I may get a outdoor thermometer and put that somewhere in the garden so you can see it on the video, and then you'll be able to see then, oh, and -2, looks a bit frosty there, or 28 degrees. Sean will be turning up in his shorts. I better keep watching for that. So yes, feel very much in the sort of like the calm before the storm bit. Now, my friend who's coming down to help next week doesn't like being filmed. So there may be a few days where there'll be no videos at all. This weekend I'm going to try and film 2 or 3 videos in one day. One of them will be a walking video. I haven't decided where yet. It could be up to the waterfall, because I haven't been up there for a while. Where else could we go? Oh, I could get the bike out, because the Rickos Mountain Road is closed. But I've heard it's going to open at the end of November. And I want to get out and about. I want to cycle up to the top and have the road to myself. And I'll film that. So if it's fine over the next few days, I'll do that. Although saying that now, I've bought, again, on a few pound a month, I've bought a new camera. I've deliberately bought this camera because I can film in the rain. Because I think I don't want to get restricted. I have found over the last few months of being back in Wales, I've had plans, like I've said to myself, I'm going to go down here and, I don't know, outline where the pond's going to go, or outline where the path is going to go, and I go and think, it's raining, I can't. Well, I could, but I want to film it. I wouldn't like to go away for a week and come back, and then you go, oh, what the hell's happened? The garden's completely done. I want to film it. But now I've got this waterproof camera that I can. Because the microphone that I've got on here, there's a microphone there. Because the mic on the cameras aren't that good. I've managed to work out how to get this connected up to this new camera of mine. So this is why I need to stop spending now. I'm sort of at my limit, and I need to keep a few pound back each month to pay off for all these things. But then once it's done then, isn't it? Got the shed, got the greenhouse, pond, I've already got some plastic for the pond, the same plastic I'm going to use to go under the base for the summer house and the greenhouse. Path. I think maybe the path is the next, or not the next, but the path is one of the big things that's going to cost. Because there's a particular grit I want to buy, which I had for the railway allotment, if you were here back in them days. And the best way for me to describe it is a sort of golden grit. It's a self-binding grit. So you just dig out the area, you throw it down, and it binds itself together, and it gives the look. It's a bit like a national trust. If you've ever been to a national trust property and they have this golden grit, that's what I want. And I've had it in the past, and it's looked gorgeous. And if you think about the buildings that I'm having, I am building a mini national trust, and who knows, when it's established in a few years, I might open the gates and you'll be able to come and visit and have a cup of tea and a slice of cake in the old summer house. Maybe we'll have to have a system, a one-way system. You come in, you get your cake, you get your cup of tea, you look at the garden, you sod off. Otherwise, it'll get busy very soon. We'll have an in-out, shake it all about system. Somebody asked me the other day, they said, you mentioned in one of your videos that you've got a plan on making the homestead more social. And they said, you haven't actually explained what you mean. And all I mean is that I'm going to get a new gate again next summer. Get a new gate, but a stable gate. So that's why I can, when I'm in the mood to have a chat to somebody, I can open the top of the gate. They can pop their head in and go, "What's occurring?" And I'll go coming in as a cup of tea, as a chat. And if I'm not in the mood, I can close the top stable door, and then nobody knows that I'm down here. Because if I want to get on with the task, the worst thing to happen is for somebody to appear and go, oh, what's occurring? You go, I just want to get my head down, get on. So I can close the top stable door, and then it's like, because that's what they have in England. I went to an allotment site in Brighton, and I know they have them up in Nottingham, where they have plots, and they're surrounded by a hedge, and there's a gate. And the standard practice is, if the door is open, come in and say hello. If the door is closed, carry on walking. I think it's a very good system. Obviously, if you come more than once a week, well, bring a pack of biscuits with you. So now as we go into the darker evenings, I'll have to shift my clock now to come more early in the morning. I opened the front door the other day at about 8 o'clock, and the mist. What was funny was, a few days ago, I looked out the window and I looked up at the mountain, and you couldn't see anything. The mist was down. And I thought to myself, I wonder what it would be like to live on top of the mountain and to wake up and be surrounded in the mist, so much so that you can't see anything, and it's safer to stay inside in case you walked off the side of the mountain. Well, I woke up the next day, and that's exactly what I saw out of my window. I looked down the street, you couldn't see the end of the street. The building at the end of the street had gone. The fog had come off the mountain, and it was settling on the floor of the valley. And I thought, if I throw my drone up, I'm sure there's beautiful sunshine above. And that's exactly what happened. And I remember years ago now, about 30, 40 years ago, when I was a lad, I went for a walk at Penpeach, and the mist was down. And at one point, I was walking up the path, and it was sunny. And I could look. Beautiful blue sky, sun. I put my head down, can't see a thing. And I always said the next time that happens, I'm going to grab the camera and go out and film it. But it was a bit too early. Oh, dear me. And that's exactly what I did. I went back to bed. So yes, when it gets to the point where you feel there's a lot of things, loose ends, you just have to remember that picture of when all this is done, it will look wonderful. A decision I've made over the last week is to pull back a bit and to retreat from society a bit more. Because when I came to Wales, it was all exciting, and I went too fast, and I joined too many societies, and I can't just join a society. I have to do a task, and I found I've just taken too much on. So I'm slowly pulling myself out of everything. I'm in 2 societies. Well, the gardening club doesn't count because they just meet to have a drink. So I'm in 2 more societies. One of them I'm going to pull back and just be in contact with them once a quarter to do the website. And the Railway Society, the same thing. I'm not going to be freely available at a drop of a hat to go and do things, because I realised over the last few months it was taking me away from the reason why I came back to Wales, which was to do the homestead and a slower pace of life. So it's very easy to get pulled back into a busy life. So this winter it'll be about refocusing, working out in my head the reasons why I came here, and to get back on focus. Because if I don't keep the focus during the winter, the spring will come and I'll be going, this is too much, I can't do it. There's, the plot is too big or something. But it's just nice to sit and listen to the waters. The only problem is, drinking a lot of tea and listening to that river makes you want to go to the toilet. So I'm going to bid you farewell, and I'm going to go to the toilet, and you don't want to see that. So I'll catch up with you next time. So from me until then, bye for now.